Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, guys. So you might have missed me the last couple of days. I do apologize because I was feeling a little low energy, and I know better than to try to push through that. I have learned in my years of business and in learning to tune into who I am as an individual and as a business owner that sometimes I just need to go dark, and sometimes I just need a little bit of quiet time. So I took a little bit of time off. So welcome back. I'm glad you guys are here. And my question to you tonight is, are you holding out? No, seriously. There's a couple things that we're going to get into tonight, and I am super excited to be sharing these with you because I was listening to not a podcast, but an interview with a bishop today. Now, I'm not uber religious, and I don't even know how I end up getting this particular video, but it has been an absolutely just mind-blowing video. And this guy is super cool. I'll tell you who he is in the end. I'll tell you, you can get his book, which apparently he's a best-selling author as well. And so super cool. So anyone who's joining me, welcome. If you're joining me live, guys, I'd love to hear from you as we go through this. Drop your name down below, or drop a hello or an emoji, or give me some thumbs ups or hearts. Let me know that you're there, that you're showing me some love tonight. Also, let me know if you're new to one of my broadcasts. Go ahead and drop new in the comments. If you're catching me on the replay, drop a hello there as well. Let me know that you are catching me on the replay because I love to give shout outs as I go through as well. And guys, I want to talk about if you are holding out tonight. Are you holding back from your true, authentic self? So as I was saying, I was listening to an interview today with this, his name is JD, he's a Bishop JD. Oh gosh, I gotta go look it up. I have notes here and I'm gonna be looking down at them later here, but I was hoping that I could get through part of it without having to look at my notes. Bishop T.D. Jakes is his name, and there's an interview that is on YouTube that somehow I came across. It came into my path, and there's an entire reason. I can tell you guys, I've only gotten through a quarter of this already, and I'm like, okay, wait, way too many of us are holding back. And 3 myths that need to be busted. So this is specifically for all of you women out there who are in sales, because you know what? This is something that we take for granted, or we don't really embrace the way that we should be. And there is a feminine side to sales, and we don't really, really get into them the way that we should. But I wanted to share with you guys a couple of my thoughts. Uh-oh, I lost my notes because I just dropped off a whole bunch of pages that I didn't need to hopefully make sure that I could get on here properly for you guys tonight. But oh well. So, basically there are 3 major myths in sales and marketing and anywhere that women are in business. And number 1 is that women just aren't capable of selling the same way that men are. You know what, guys? If I don't grab my notes, I am totally going to be lost tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and grab those. If you're joining me, please go ahead and shout out where you're from. Drop a hello down below so that I know that you guys are there while I'm grabbing my notes, because I just realized I left them. So I'm grabbing them right now. But I think that too many of us are holding back. Feminine traits in sales and business are often frowned upon. They're looked at as a lesser quality. Since they don't demand the same of attention as some of the masculine qualities, we as women have learned to adapt to the way that men sell. And we look at that because that's the way that things are supposed to be done, because we live in a patriarchal society that demands, the sale in order to, survive. And survival is definitely a part of it. There's nothing wrong with that portion of it. It's just that we need to embrace who we are as women and embrace the way that we do things differently. And the fact that 77% of small business owners in my industry alone are women, and that number is 76% globally, shows you that women have a strong foothold in small business ownership, and we have a really great power to be able to change the way that sales are done, change the way that marketing is done, change the way that business is done. But we have to do that together. It's not something that one person is going to be able to do on their own. So despite the fact that women make up the majority of small business owners, specifically in my industry, here are 3 of the myths of the fempreneur. 1 is that women are not capable of building a big network. So, all we can really do when it comes to sales is we can find a bunch of customers and we can sell a bunch of products. But to build a strong network, franchises, that's just not something that it's thought is plausible or really, a strong suit of women. But that is absolutely a myth. What is the major key concept of building a business? That is going to be building relationships, talking to people, meeting people. Who does that better than women, right? We are constantly out. We are easily able to strike up a conversation. Well, the majority of us are. Some of us struggle with that, but it's so much easier for us to find commonalities with others, to give a compliment within 1 or 2 seconds of meeting somebody. We can strike up a conversation in just a few minutes and have a lifelong friend in some cases. Women have the amazing ability to build and maintain relationships. We're not about collecting friends on Facebook. We are about cultivating relationships. And that cultivating of relationship is really what is going to move us forward in our businesses. It's really what's going to move us forward as a conscious entrepreneur, as conscious business owners, as we move forward in business anywhere. So myth number 2 is that women are not capable of leading big organizations. Okay, tell that to the mom who had 17 children. Do you not think that she's been leading a large organization most of her life? If she has had 17 children, she not only has worn the hat of the major disciplinarian, the major supportive role, but the major guide for 17 human beings that are being brought up. Why are we not giving more credit to those capabilities, those skill sets that have been developed, that are enabled, that are innate in women to the business world? Those same qualities of leadership can be found and should be accepted and embraced in all cultures. Not only, are women birthing and raising children, but there are many, many women in global Fortune 500 companies like General Motors, IMB, Pepsi-Cola, that are all run by women. So how can we say that women can't build a big organization? Myth number 3. So if you guys believed any of these myths before, drop the myth number down below, 1, 2, or 3. If you've ever thought that women are incapable of doing these things. Now, granted, most of my audience is going to be women, so you're definitely not going to believe in any of these things. But even if you've had an inkling or, a glimmer of these issues that you just didn't think that you're capable of, then this is a myth that you are subjecting yourself to. You're buying into it, whether you're truly 100% buying into it or not. So just be honest with yourself. It's okay. This is kind of the way that we've been programmed. We've been commissioned. We've been conditioned is the word I'm really looking for, to really kind of think about how we work in our businesses. The hustle, the push, the drive, the carrot and stick mentality, the always setting goals and pushing till you get there and never waiting until you do actually get there. Those are all things that have been built into a patriarchal mentality of how to do business. But women are capable of so much more. So the myth number 3 is that women are not capable of creating true wealth, and that all they can do is earn an insignificant income. So we all know that we have a clause, there's an unwritten rule about how much money women can make in the workplace, and that there's always kind of this cap on, men make just 10 or 15% more than women in most businesses. Well, when you're a small business owner, the sky is not the limit. There is no limit. You are your own limitation. And studies show that a number of wealthy women in the United States, that number is growing as fast as men. And that in America, 45% of millionaires are women. So take and blow that out of your mind. Take that. Of those 45% of women, 60% of them have owned their own fortune. They've earned it on their own. They didn't inherit it. They didn't, receive their wealth from anybody else. And there's a prediction that by 2030, that women will control 2/3 of the nation's wealth. So lean into your strengths, women. Lean into those qualities that you are innately given. And, when we get into that, we're going to talk, what I wanted to get into, where I started with all of this is, are you holding back? Are you holding yourself back from really embracing those qualities because you've been conditioned, you've been put into a stereotype, essentially? one of the really great, gosh, this guy has so many amazing quotes, like tweetable quotes, that I swear I could just sit here and tweet all day. I have so many notes, and if I was actually writing them, I'd probably have about 5 pages of hand notes, and I've only done 20 minutes of listening to this. So I can't wait to get into the rest of it. But, he says you are your best when you are your authentic self. After, and you can't be what other people call you to be. So if you aren't living in your authentic self, you aren't living the life that you're intended to live. You're not limited to one title or one function. Just because you are labeled as a mom doesn't mean that you are only a mom. Just because you're labeled as a doctor does not mean you are only limited to being a doctor. But our society, the way that we are born and raised, and the things that we do, this is the way he put it. I'm going to read it directly. The way that people describe you, he didn't realize that the way that people describe you would imprison you. It keeps you held into something that maybe you want to be, or maybe something you don't want to be. Perhaps it's not something that lights your fire. It doesn't really get you, stoked every morning when you wake up. But you're doing it because that is what you have been conditioned to be. This is what you've been intended to be. This is the title that other people have given you, whether that be a network marketer or a salesperson or a mom or a dishwasher or a car salesman or, a waitress. These, when you woke up, and I love this that he said as well, when I woke up and I met me, I wasn't in his case, he wasn't a pastor. He didn't wake up being a pastor. He woke up being a human. He woke up with ideas, with aspirations, with things that he wanted to do in his life. And so do you. So are you holding back on yourself? Are you holding back out on the world? Are you holding back on us, on who you could truly be? Well, I want to encourage you. I want to be the fertilizer to your seed. There are seeds that are implanted in you. And every single day, if you nourish those seeds, heaven knows what can blossom. But unless you are willing to nourish the seeds that are in you, and some of those are seeds of leadership, some of those are seeds of organization, some of those are seeds of vision, just having a bigger vision than anybody else around you. But we hold ourselves back. We incarcerate ourselves in a sense into what we are defined as from the perspective of other people. And by doing that, we are unable to dream bigger. We are unable to grow bigger. We are unable to step into roles that we are designed for. We are holding back from what the universe is able to do with us and through us. So it's up to you to water and nourish those seeds, and to surround yourself with people who want to water and nourish those seeds as well. Let me be one of them. If that be your case, I would love to have you be a part of our society and La Fempreneur Society. When we get into more of this kind of wonderful information, the information of how to become a true, authentic female business owner, one who is excelling in all areas of her business, in her life, who finds that balance between being a mom and being, a successful CEO of her own self. Because essentially, if you're not the CEO of yourself, you can't be the CEO of anyone else. Guys, there is so much more that I could go on tonight about, and I'm just going to kind of put that out there right now. But one of the things that I really wanted to say is, if you have not listened to this interview and are interested in it, let me know. But I really loved the idea of being incarcerated with that title. Hey, Lena, let's see, you said, what's the hardest? Balance between the hustle and being annoying and pestering. I don't think men lose sleep over this because they're annoying in sales. So definitely, women definitely do, because it's not how we're designed. We're not built. We're built to be compassionate. We're built to have, to build relationships. And you can't build a relationship when you're being pushy and you're hustling, because that hustle doesn't also have a very positive connotation to it. It has a very negative, no one wants to be hustled, but everybody wants to be conversated with. Everybody wants to have a conversation. Everybody wants to be heard. So instead of hustling, we need to think about being heard. And that doesn't mean us being heard, but the other person being heard. So when we approach our businesses and we approach the way in which we work with people as, how can I serve you? How can I help you? What can I do to make your life better? What can I offer you as advice? What can I offer? What can I recommend for you as a product? What can I recommend as, a path to something bigger and better in your life? What can I fertilize in your life that is going to make you blossom, then it doesn't feel like it's a hustle. Then it just feels like I'm looking for the best way that I can possibly, benefit, to be a benefit or to be a contributor to this world and this, and by approaching it that way, and instead of being caught up in our heads, when we're centered and we're really grounded in our own power, our actual sacred source of power, our divine feminine, divine masculine married together, instead of being ego driven, which is one of the things that we find is when we're in balance, when we're in imbalance, not imbalance, when we're imbalanced, we will lead with ego. We lead with what we feel good as opposed to being centered. And so that hustle also feels off put. It also feels offset when we are unbalanced, when we are not balanced in our and rooted and grounded in ourselves and our actual connection to source energy. So when we really refine that relationship and we really get rooted in our relationship there, that is when we find true power. That is when we are able to lead forward. That is when we are able to contribute the most with most quality. Guys, my battery is going to die because I took I took my computer off my I brought it upstairs really quick. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. If you are interested in being a part of the Fempreneur Society, drop Fem in the comments. I'd love to welcome you into our community, share more of these beautiful practices that we have started to incorporate into our businesses, and seeing how it has balanced and brought life to both the masculine and the feminine qualities of business and leadership. And I will talk to you guys again. Mwah! Share this out if you guys found some value in this. I will talk to you guys again soon. Bye.